What is going on? Hey guys, welcome to the pre-show for Super Game Room Dudes. This is Patrick, and of course I got Carl, Detroit Love, Michael B, the Game Genie, and Restalgia in the house. Although Restalgia, I got to say, man, this is quite the comfy hoodie I'm rocking right here, man. This thing is pretty comfy.
They are really nice. You can get them at teespring.com/store/Restalgia.
Teespring.com/store/ what is that? Say that again. That was a tongue twister, bro.
I know, it's really bad. teespring.com/stores/Restalgia.
Yeah.
Gotta plug that merch.
Gotta plug that merch. Yeah, I don't have merch yet myself. So welcome everybody to the pre-show. So this is where you guys get a chance. Any questions, comments, anything like that, go ahead and throw them in the chat. Let us know. And also too, if you guys want to call into the show, you can call into the show as well. As we're getting fired away here to go, I'll go ahead and I'll leave a link in the video description. I'm sorry, not in the chat. If you guys want to call into the show during the pre-show. So yeah, I think we're going to have a fun episode tonight. We got a lot of material to cover, but we're talking, over 60 video game, film, movie adaptations have been made, yet you can't cover them all in 1 hour, can you? It's just not enough time, right? So we are going to do our best to cover all that. Michael B, what you got going on?
Not much, man. I'm actually in my game room for once, as you can see in the background, with all the fun 80s nostalgia. I like to think that I'm in Tron right now.
Right. And Carl, where are you? It sounds you're not in your usual spot.
No, I'm actually in Detroit this time. So in the city, visiting families and friends. But I said I can't miss the show. We got to talk about these horrible movies.
Horrible movies. Well, not all of them were horrible, but I'll be honest, I think most of them were horrible. And Restalgia, how you doing, man? How's life in Canada?
It's beautiful up here. We got some ease back restrictions happening officially yesterday. We're pretty much nice and chill up here.
Right. So we got our first question. This is our pre-show Q&A. What's everybody's favorite video game or make for a movie? Anyone want to answer that question real quick before we start our live show?
Go ahead, Mike. I know you want to talk. Let's hear it.
So, is he asking what's our favorite video game movie, or what our favorite video game that we think should be a movie? I'm a little confused by the question.
Yeah, I didn't understand the question.
Yeah. Well, I mean, then again, we're actually going to be talking about that during the show. Those are a couple of our topics. So we're going to be talking about the best, the worst, the ones that need to be remade, and the ones that haven't been made yet. Great franchises that would make awesome blockbuster movies, and the ones that we think they should, once Hollywood gets back to work, Hollywood should start filming. So go ahead and throw your questions in the chat, guys, or feel free to call into the show. I put the link in the chat already. If you want to call in, say hi, talk. And right now, too, before we start the main show, if there's anything not related to this topic you have any questions on, by all means, go ahead and throw them in the chat. We're just getting ready to get fired away here for everybody. So let's see here. Avengers is Glass Baby's favorite. Well, I don't think that was really a video game movie. That's a comic book movie, That's a comic book movie. Pixels, okay. Flipside Gaming. Now, Restalgia, you just watched a couple of these movies for the first time this week, right? Which ones did you watch recently?
Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
The original Mortal Kombat, and I watched Double Dragon.
Oh, you watched Double Dragon? You poor man.
We'll talk about it later, but I'm going to say Mortal Kombat might have actually been worse than Double Dragon.
What?
Wow.
Don't start. What? Don't
Listen, I'm watching. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick the unpopular opinion every time.
Yeah. You like to stir the pot. Victor says Sonic the movie was so good. A lot of folks are saying they enjoyed Pixels.
I did too. Loved it.
Yep.
Restalgia, didn't you mention earlier you thought Mortal Kombat had more colors than Double Dragon?
No, you're funny.
Well, the Mortal Kombat movie made by Nintendo had more colors than the Mortal Kombat movie made by Sega. So,
It's the truth. There's nothing you can do about it. You just got to take your punches.
Yeah. So what's unique about Pixels, and we can actually talk about these because we're actually not going to talk about Pixels or Ready Player One during the show. And let me explain why, guys. Is our focus mainly during this episode is to go on a journey of discovery, a journey of adventure, and talk about video games that were video games first and were adapted into their own movies, right? And Pixels, as well as Ready Player One, are just like they're wonderful movies. Like, I absolutely adore Ready Player One. It's one of my favorite things ever done by Spielberg and his team. But it's a collaboration, right? It's just like they just took everything and threw it in one movie, just like Pixels, right? But it's not really a video game movie, right? Kind of like Wreck-It Ralph as well. It's not really... What we're talking is like Mortal Kombat was a franchise that made it into a movie. Street Fighter was a franchise. They made it into a movie. We're not going to be talking about Tron because Tron was a movie first and then became a video game, right, Michael? So, that's the way we're going to do it. We're structuring the show based upon it was a franchise video game first or a solo video game and turn around, and then it was adapted into a feature film. So hopefully that kind of clears that up. So, but don't get me wrong, guys. Pixels and Ready Player One, fantastic films, great for the family. Just want you to know, Detroit Love, that Chemical Trails thinks you are the sexiest MFer on the panel.
He can't be much wrong with that. Can't go wrong with that at all.
Yep. Well, that's because you dressed up for the show. I dressed down. I put on a Restalgia shirt. I dressed down for the show.
You're the best dressed person on the show right now, PDubs.
And you're gonna smash a whole lot of toes with that T-shirt on for sure.
Look at that blue shirt though. So yes, Street Fighter was a movie. New Lara Croft movie was badass. I do agree. I forget the name of the actress, the foreign actress who played Lara Croft, but I actually enjoyed that way more than the other ones. But we'll get into that as well into the show.
So I'm sure, as most people know here, Street Fighter is a bit of an anomaly because it was a movie that was based on a video game that then had a video game based on the movie. So there was a second version of Street Fighter that actually had digitized characters from the movie, and it is awful.
Yeah, it's not that good. It's not that good. Not that good. All right, guys. Any other questions, or if you guys want to call in, feel free to call in. If not, we're going to be starting the show here in just a couple of minutes. Got a lot of ground to cover. We're pretty excited, and we're not worried about going over an hour tonight, so we'll do our best. So, Scott J says that's a hoe smashing hoodie, P-dubs. Very nice. Well, Carl, what is it you always say? We don't smash toes. What do we smash?
We smash holes.
Oh man, that was like the greatest joke I've ever heard in my life. All right, so we got Pitbull. Yeah, Pitbull wanted to call in. He messaged us earlier in the week that he wanted to call in and talk to us real quick. So let's go ahead and we'll put the call in link again in the chat, and we'll give it a couple more minutes here, see if anyone wants to call in or ask any other questions. Cloak and Dagger. Warcraft was average. What? Warcraft was great. I love Warcraft.
Warcraft was my favorite game back in the day. Started with StarCraft first, right? StarCraft, I love that game. I played so many hours of that thing.
Yeah. Warcraft.
I haven't seen the movie though.
Yeah. It's an animated, like a CGI animated movie, Warcraft, and I really liked it. I really liked it though. Although they pull a little twisteroo on you. I don't know if I should ruin it for the chat. Have you guys not seen it? Oh, I won't say it. So, yeah, there's a couple twisteroos in there, right? Like you get really invested in certain characters, and you get the rug pulled out from under you. Is all I'm gonna say, without ruining it for everybody else. Let's see here. So we got a question for you, Restalgia, from Meatball Saucy. I'm curious how you're navigating your new, it's not job with that games. I'm sure you can't share details. Is there anything that you have been disappointed by?
Ooh, that's a good question. Honestly, no. Now the position that I'm going into, or that I've already started essentially since last month, I guess I should be clear. I'm not actually working for At Games. I'm working with At Games. So I was brought in as an independent contractor, and I'm just helping them manage a specific department that they've got, just with some of my experience. And honestly, no, I'm not disappointed. In fact, I'm pretty excited. I've gotten to work with some really good people so far, and the project specifically that I'm working on, I'm really excited for. Lots of really fun stuff is coming, and without saying too much, I think that it is going to be a home run with the community. I think people are going to go bananas when they see some of the stuff that's going to be coming down the pipeline over the next few months.
Yeah, I was so excited about Restalgia partnering with At Games. I bought this sweater. I got this sweater. So yeah, I just want to be like you when I grew up, Restalgia. So, all right, guys.
One day you'll be a real boy.
Everyone's waiting. Everyone's here. Let's get off pre-show. I'm sure you guys want to have a great, fantastic show. We got a great show planned for you. I think you guys are going to be really, really hyped about it. So let's kick things off. You guys got 90 seconds. 90 seconds. Grab your water, grab your popcorn, go to the bathroom to kick the wife out, kick the kids out. We're going to be talking about video game films right after this.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Detroit Love, PDubs, Restalgia, and Michael B, the Game Genie. What's up? Let's get this thing started. Live video movie review.
That was so smooth, man.
Did you guys? Did you see that? I didn't. That wasn't my imagination. Did that just happen?
That was the best intro that I think. I don't even think we can do another show. Like that was that set the bar too high. There's nothing we can do now.
Okay, guys, time to start the show proper. Today is Saturday, July 18th, 2020, and you're turning into episode 2 of Super Game Room Dudes. I'm your host, Patrick, aka PDubs. With me, as always, is Detroit Love, Carl. What's up, Carl?
What's up? I'm out of my element here. Can't help
it. And joining us are Canadian brothers from the north. And I do like Canadian bacon, by the way. It's just a slice of ham. Michael B, the Game Genie. What's going on, Michael B?
Hey, everybody.
And as always, we have Restalgia. How's it going, brother?
It's going well, man. It's going well.
We have an exciting show today. It's going to be very involved. We want to get the chat involved. We want to see your comments. Now, guys, what's really cool is we're broadcasting live to 5 destinations. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 destinations, guys. 4 YouTube channels, plus my Facebook fan page. And first off, we got to say thanks. Thanks to all of you. Last week was our debut episode. And sometimes whenever you're doing a new thing, you're throwing stuff at the wall, you don't know if it's going to stick or not, right? But taking a look, guys, episode 1 debuted last week. And when we look at all the view counts between all the channels, well over 3,000 views combined. It sounds like you folks are interested in this show, and we're interested now and continuing to do the show. So thanks so much for that, guys. We greatly appreciate your the ratings for episode 1. Fantastic. One of the highest rated video game podcast shows of last week, because there's so many of them out there. Super excited. Thanks so much, guys. Now, let's make this a fun show. I have the link in the chat. If you want to call in and give your opinion, call in. If you want to leave questions, comments, let's see them. And if you're in a chat room, remember, guys, there's 5 chat rooms. Anything you type, we will see. So don't hesitate to put your comments in. I'll try and get as many of them on the screen as I possibly can. But today we are talking about video game movies. Video games that came first and movies that came later. Which ones were good? Which ones were bad? Which ones haven't they done yet? And which ones probably should be remade for a modern generation using modern technology? So for starters, guys, let's hop into it. Let's start talking about some of the best video game movies of all time. Restalgia, what do you think are some of the best video game movies of all time?
Okay, so before I answer that, I'm going to ask a question to Mike, because he pretty much is the genie when it comes to video games. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Was that a game before a movie, or was that like a comic book that originally happened? Or is that fair game? Because that actually might be my number 1 pick.
Not fair game.
Not
the
fair
game
game.
came out
Okay.
afterwards. Yeah.
Okay, so then if that's the case, and if we're including pretty much whether it recently came out all the way back to whenever, I'm going to say probably my number 1 pick in terms of like they did a really good job with production, casting, storyline, all those sort of things is going to be Detective Pikachu. I think that movie was really good. A close second is going to be Sonic. And then third, everything else is third because they all suck.
Wow.
Michael B., what about you? What are some of the best ones you can think of off the top of your head?
I don't have to think a lot. I just have to do this. Dun 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 dun. Mortal Kombat! It's the best. It's the best one they've ever made. I agree with Restalgia. Detective Pikachu was fun, but I've never played a Detective Pikachu game, so I'm not going to be one of these people that really like hard presses the game compared to the movie. I thought the movie was fun. Sonic the Hedgehog, it was okay.
What about you, Carl? What do you think? Some of the best.
The Tomb Raider series. I love Tomb Raider. I love those. The games, the movies were very decent, enjoyable. So I can't complain about that. I have to agree with Michael B. I think the Mortal Kombat. I think they did a really good job with that movie. It kept me entertained. They tried to pull in as many elements from the game as they could to make it as realistic as it could be. So I definitely didn't mind that at all. Double Dragon. If Melissa, what's her name? Melissa Milano.
Alyssa Milano.
Alyssa Milano. If she wasn't in that movie, I would have turned it off.
Yeah.
Well, one way some people like to judge the best by money, by box office success, right? So let's kind of dive into what are the top 10 highest grossing video game films ever made. And let's see if some of those ones that you guys mentioned made the list here. So number 10, guys, Tomb Raider, the rebooted version, made $274 million back in 2018. What do you guys think about that chunk of change?
Well, I was going to ask who on the panel's actually seen that movie, because this is one I've wanted to see, but I have not seen.
I have, and it's absolutely 1 million times better than the Angelina Jolie versions. But the Angelina Jolie versions, maybe it's because it was Angelina Jolie, made more money. Look at this. Number 9, Lara Croft Tomb Raider, $274 million. And that was 19 years ago, guys. These numbers aren't adjusted with inflation. Number 8, check this out. Resident Evil Afterlife, $300 million.
Horrible.
Well, this one from Prison Break in there. What's his name?
Yeah, that's the guy from Prison Break. And this was the 4th movie in that franchise. So that was number 4.
Yeah, he plays Chris Redfield, right?
Yes, he plays Chris Redfield, and the girl next to him, that's
Ali Larder.
Ali Larder, who played Claire Redfield. So number 7, Sonic the Hedgehog, which just came out. It's clocking in at $306 million. I have a feeling maybe this could have made a few more bucks if theaters weren't shut down due to COVID, because this came out right before that whole epidemic happened. But this was a really well done adaptation, in my opinion. Sonic the Hedgehog. I actually think it was a comeback film for Jim Carrey. What do you guys think about that statement?
Yeah,
Completely agree.
I love.
Yep.
I love Jim Carrey. That's one of my favorite actors. He's just silly. I'm silly, so we jail. I haven't seen this movie yet, so I would like to see that.
Yep, definitely worth checking out, especially if you have kids. Kids love this movie. Let's keep going down the list here, guys, because we have so much to cover this episode. Look at this, number 6, Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, $314 million. This was number 6, right? And this was the last movie, the number 6 in the franchise.
That's $315 million more than it should have made.
Number 5, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. Now, has anyone seen this movie on this panel?
I have.
And what are your thoughts on it?
So again, I'm gonna preface this. I've actually never played a single Prince of Persia modern game. I've played Prince of Persia on the NES. I really liked it, but I know people that are very into the game hated it. So I'm gonna preface it with never played the game, so I enjoyed it.
Right. This is one of those, in my opinion, it's one of those movies such as like Double Dragon and Super Mario Brothers, where they made a film adaptation of a video game, but didn't use any of the source material really from the video game, right? They just took the concept and made a film out of the concept. But I think what we want when we go to the theater, and guys in the chat, let me know if you agree with me or not. I think we want to see what we've been playing with our thumbs. We want to see that on screen. We don't want to see like, yeah, there's Super Mario Brothers, but he's fighting some other guy who never once existed in 35 Super Mario Brothers video games that ever existed, right? That kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah, it'd be like if it was Bubble Bobble and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go see the Bubble Bobble movie, but it's just Pulp Fiction called Bubble Bobble. You're like, what happened here?
Yep. So my thoughts are this, guys, is Prince of Persia, in my opinion, I think is a really good movie if it was a standalone concept, right? If there wasn't a video game first, I actually think this movie was well done. But because they didn't, use enough of the video game stuff in it, I'm not going to say it was a great video game film adaptation. If the video game never existed and they made this movie, I think people would have liked it a little bit more because they had nothing else to base it off of. I don't know if that makes sense or not. So, but let's continue on down the list, guys. So number 4, the Angry Birds movie, $352 million 4 years ago.
I forgot about this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I totally understand why this is in the top 4, top 5. This is such a kid-centered movie, right? Like kids are going crazy. And it doesn't matter how bad the film is. If a kid wants to see this, their parents are taking them to it. So kids don't care about reviews. Kids care about just wanting to see something that they like. That makes sense to me.
Absolutely. The marketing hype train was unreal when this thing came out 4 years ago.
Sure.
And sure enough, my wife and I had to take my son to go see it. And my son 4 years ago was like 14 years old, but he loved playing Angry Birds on the phone, on the tablet, all that stuff. And he wanted to see it. And even at the age of 14, he dragged us to the movie theater to see it. And I fell asleep through the movie.
Does anybody even play Angry Birds today?
Yeah, let us know in the chat. Do you guys still play Angry Birds? I don't. I haven't touched that thing in years.
Yeah, I hadn't touched that in years. So.
It's because you guys are old.
You still play Restalgia, don't you?
I don't play it, but I know that it's like I know that a lot of younger kids are total. It's like a very popular app for like teenagers and stuff.
All right, let us know in the chat, guys. What do you think about Rampage being number 3 all time, $428 million? This thing just came out a couple years ago. It's got my boy The Rock. I love The Rock.
Yeah,
but I didn't like this movie. Did you guys like this movie?
I have not seen that movie, but I'm a big fan of The Rock. But I have not seen that movie yet.
Holy cow, guys!
I had no urge to see it when it.
No urge to see it, huh? No urge.
I didn't. But I normally see all of his movies.
So hey guys, we got a massive super chat, $20. Holy cow, from
Whoa.
Hero X. Dude, is that Steve from Restalgia? Hey Steve, can you hit me with a sick gamer dab? Let's see it, bro.
I will do it.
For $20. Oh, do it again. Do it again.
Do the double dab.
There you go.
He's gonna get lost in his arm here if he keeps doing that.
Yeah, it's just gonna end up taking over.
All right.
If I try and do it, I'm gonna knock my phone over again.
All right. So while Restalgia is tucking those bills into his waist, let's move on to the next one. We got Detective Pikachu, which just came out last year. $433 million, the number 2 video game film of all time. What do you guys think about this?
I'm not surprised.
Not
I don't
surprised.
want to.
Not
I
surprised.
don't want to give my age, but my son, who's now 32, loved this game growing up. I mean, he played Pikachu. He played all the what was the games on the handheld?
Pokemon.
Pokemon. You couldn't get this guy off of Pokemon. He played Pokemon on every platform that it was possibly played on. So yeah, he definitely loved this movie here for sure.
The good news is, Restalgia, you're not losing any subscribers with that sick dab you just did for the viewing pleasure. Hopefully you're adding, not losing subscribers.
You're
But
speaking way too soon. I'll let you know what my stats say at the end of the stream.
But at the end of the stream, if you're negative, it's because of the dab, brother. It's because
That's
of
right.
the dab. You should have done the Cabbage Patch instead. You can't lose if you do the Cabbage Patch.
I don't
Patch
listen. I don't even know
wins
what the
everything.
cabbage patch is. Like I don't know what you're talking about right now.
He doesn't even know.
I know about the dab and the floss. That's what I know.
All right. Any predictions? Predictions from the panel or the chat. What do you think is the biggest box office #1 video game film of all time? Throw a guess in there.
Give the comment section some time to catch up because it's delayed. But
Yeah,
my
that's-
guess is gonna be a Street Fighter film, and I think I don't think it's. Yeah, see, it's weird because I think it's a really bad movie, but I think it might be #1.
Nope.
Now, would X-Men be a?
X-Men are comic book films, so those don't count.
Mhm.
Okay. I have no clue what it would be.
We got Mortal Kombat as a guess in here.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat's not a bad guess.
A lot of people think Mortal Kombat was #1. Michael B, you haven't guessed yet.
I'm going to say Mortal Kombat 2, but I got a feeling it's something relatively recent, possibly another horrible Resident Evil movie, and I'll flip this air hockey table over with computer and everything on it.
Well, guys, here we go. #1, Warcraft.
Oh, hey, hold on.
$39 million. I told you this was a damn good movie. PDubs loves the Warcraft adaptation, except for the little switcheroo about 2/3 of the way through the movie, right? Which, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. A switcheroo with the main character, right? Kind of a shocking moment. So,
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. So yeah, there you go, guys. Warcraft, #1 video game film movie of all time, considering box office. Just looking at it from a box office point of view. How does that make you feel, guys? What do you think? Detroit Love, you used to play this game. You were talking about it during the
I used to
pre-show.
love StarCraft mainly. Warcraft morphed into Warcraft. I have not seen the movie, but it's #1. I'm gonna have to see where that can be streamed from to check it out. That was I put more hours than you guys can imagine in those 2 games. And then they started doing that subscription thing where you had to pay and all that, and so that I lost interest at that point in time with the game.
Yep. All right, guys. So let's take this off the screen right here. So those are, according to the box office, the top 10 moneymakers of all time. Now, do you guys want to see where Mortal Kombat and all that ended up? Do you guys want to see it? Because I could show it to you if you really want.
This whole list doesn't mean anything. It's got to be adjusted for inflation, or it doesn't count.
That's what I was going to say. There's got to be some sort of inflation adjustment that they have to do here.
All right. So let's pull this up here. So this is, can you guys see that okay?
Yeah.
So this right here, there's your top 10. We talked about all these, right? But let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit for you, help you see it. So yeah, you got rounding out. Look, here's your Mortal Kombat movie, 122 million. It is number 20 on the list. Came out way back in 1995. There's where Mortal Kombat falls in. How does that make you feel, guys? You say it's the #1 movie of all time.
It makes me feel dirty. Plus, I see Battleship on this. How is Battleship a video game movie? It's a board game movie.
Take it now. We're not going to go through the entire list, guys, but those in the chat, take a look at this chart. What do you think of these numbers? Like, what do you think of these games? Like, should any have made more money? Street Fighter made 99 million. That's about a million. That's about 99 million more than it should have made. Silent Hill was good though. The first Silent Hill movie was good. The second one, I didn't like at all. There's Street Fighter, says Hero X.
I mean, the thing that this list won't be able to show is what hit movies were playing in the theater alongside with these movies. You know what I mean? Those type of things would definitely be a factor in what people went to see for sure.
I think it's interesting to point out that Doom came out 2005 with The Rock, right? Made 58 million. It's number 29 on the list. And nowadays, if The Rock makes a movie, it's going to make 100 million. Easy.
Yeah, he's the highest paid actor in Hollywood right now.
So fun fact for you guys, Doom was his first bag movie. That's the first time they paid him the major bag to be in the movie. It was his first big score money movie.
And it failed miserably.
Look at this. Kevin says Final Fantasy VII, The Spirits Within should have got more money. I think that was another one where it's another victim of circumstance that I mentioned earlier. It was another game they made where they used the concept, but nothing from the actual the actual game series. Am I wrong, Michael?
No, you're 100% right. I was going to say, is it a video game movie? Is it? Because it's not really based on a video game.
Right.
I guess the IP is based on a video game, so maybe that's what they're doing. Like, I don't know. When I look at like Pokemon, the first movie, which is number 15 on the list, Pokemon is absolutely based on a video game, but the storyline of that movie had nothing to do with any of the games, right? Like it was kind of like its own storyline. So like, I guess this is very loosely. Oh, there's Super Mario. Yeah. What did 20 million? Yeah, that's brutal.
20 million.
Is this top 100 or
top 60? Top 60.
Yeah.
So P-Dubs, I got to call into question the validity of this list that you've prepared here. This is like the Sega list last week that didn't have the Nomad on it. I mean, there's board games in here and everything.
Hold on, My Little Pony's in there. Hold on, this list has to be legit.
No, there's Clue that starred Tim Curry. Excellent movie, but a video game it is not.
Right.
Michael B.
Unless you count the phones, I'm sure.
Michael, you need to remember, always believe everything you hear, read, and see on the internet. Everything.
The internet never lies.
Everything is accurate. Everything's accurate. Okay, guys. Now let's talk about let's get off of that. So we've already went around the horn. We kind of said what we thought our best video game movies of all time are. I think a lot of us unanimously agree that, and just from not including box office, but just in our personal opinions, we think Mortal Kombat was probably the best video game movie adapted so far. How many of you guys agree with that? No?
No.
Come on, Restalgia.
You said, hold on. You said that the number one is Mortal. I told you what my number one was. Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu. Okay.
Detective Pikachu.
Well, that's okay. That's because, you just got out of diapers last week. But for the grown men watching the show, guys, Mortal Kombat, probably the best one. Now, of course, it wasn't a hard R-rated Mortal Kombat, right? So it wasn't like that. Maybe we'll get into that when we get to remakes, right? But in all honesty, I think considering, how are you going to make a movie about just a tournament, right? I mean, that'd be kind of tough. Like if all you did was show each individual fight scene.
Right.
I disagree. That'd be incredible.
It's called Bloodsport.
Yeah, I know. But Bloodsport had a storyline behind, off camera, right? It wasn't just that.
Yeah.
It was, you got invested in him. The horrible dance scene in the bar that was Kickboxer, right? Or was that Bloodsport? Which one was Jean-Claude Van Damme doing the dance scene in the bar? Was that Kickboxer or Bloodsport? I always get those two flip-flopped.
That might be Kickboxer. I can't
remember. That might be Kickboxer, right? But almost the same movie, right? Because his friend gets hurt and he goes for revenge against the champion, and in the Kickboxer it was his brother. But either way, I forgot where we were going with that.
You're still thinking about that dancing.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Restalgia dabbing in Kickboxer. Now that would have helped that movie make more money. Your Soul Is Mine is one of my favorite scenes. Yes, we were talking about Mortal Kombat. Yes, we think probably this panel majority rules over Restalgia's young, inferior, immature mind. That guess what? Mortal Kombat, #1 of all time. Sorry, Restalgia.
Fine, then you know what my least favorite movie of all time is going to be?
What?
It's gonna be Mortal Kombat.
Wait, we're not on that topic yet. But guys, there you go. That's what this panel thinks. Hopefully you agree or disagree with us in the chat. Don't matter. We're just here having fun. It's Saturday night and you're hanging out with the Game Room dudes. So let's move on to the next one. So we talked about the best. Let's talk about the worst, right? The worst. So let's go around the horn real quick. Guys, worst video game film adaptation of all time, in your opinion. Carl, let's go with you and work our way to Restalgia, because we know
I watched that Double Dragon this week, and I thought that thing was horrible. You know, they had those cameos done by with George Hamilton, Vanna White. They just threw them in there. Who was it? Andy Dick. They just threw in there to throw some cameos in. The movie was horrible. I mean, I was able to stomach through it because Alyssa Milano was on there with her cute little self.
With her cute little self.
But because I definitely would have smashed some toes. I'm gonna keep it clean here. I would have smashed those toes.
Hold on, you got to be careful. I don't even know if she was 18 in that movie, man.
Right? Yeah,
she was in her 20s.
Okay,
that's why I'm sticking with the toes. I'm gonna stick with the toes. But I think that movie was just horrible. And I don't know if you guys recognize that was the guy, the arch nemesis was the guy from Terminator 2. The guy
Robert Patrick. He was the T-1000. Yep.
Yeah. And he was a horrible actor in that movie. It's not a whole lot of great things you can say about it. You know what I mean? They had when they finally got the Double Dragon, he could do all this crazy stuff, and then they got it. They could just punch and kick, and it was just like they just threw it together. It wasn't. That would be my worst video game.
Michael B., what do you got for us?
See, I'm kind of in agreement with Carl here now, because Double Dragon was terrible, and I want to like it, and it should have been good. I mean, it should have been a simple movie to make. All they had to make was basically these two brothers that do karate. Basically, Marion gets kidnapped, and they've got to go beat the poop out of everybody in this gang. They'll go rescue her. That should have been the whole storyline. But for some reason, they decided, okay, we need to take an idea from Escape from New York. We're also going to need to take an idea from like Mad Max and the Warriors. And they took a bunch of ideas and tried to make this something it didn't need to be. And also there's a little bit of Big Trouble in Little China in it too, with the whole mythical piece and going against the mythical bad guy. None of that needed to happen. Basically, if it was just a movie about these two brothers fighting this entire gang, like Rumble in the Bronx or something like that, would have been excellent. It was just so unnecessary and so stupid. I hated it. Hated Double Dragon. Actually, the first time when I was a kid, Carl brings up Alyssa Milano. The only thing I did in the movie was fast forward it to the scene of Alyssa Milano's butt as she's climbing into the tube. That was like the only thing. Fast forwarded the whole movie, stopped, paused it on that butt, and said, "That's a good butt." Fast forwarded the rest of the movie to get through it.
And then you skip to where she's trying to get the generator started.
Yeah, that's about it.
Now, before Restalgia brings down the energy in the room, because we all know what he's going to say, before he brings down the energy, guys, I want to throw something out there real quick. So Chris wrote this earlier in the chat. He said, the actress who played Chun-Li in Street Fighter is hot. Absolutely. And if you guys want to know who that is, maybe this will blow your mind. She's on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent May on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the actress who played Chun-Li. That woman is in her mid-50s. Amazing. Gorgeous woman. Love her to death. And I watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for Agent May. I don't know about you guys.
So if I can jump back in here, you also got to say Kylie Minogue was pretty hot too, and little known, as Cammy. I love Cammy. And little known fact, I think her and Jean-Claude Van Damme ended up having an affair while they were filming that movie.
So he was smashing toes.
Rumors.
He was smashing them toes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Restalgia, you got 60 seconds. Go.
60 seconds. Okay, so I did watch Mortal Kombat this week, and I did watch Double Dragon. And okay, so that my
Careful what you say.
okay, so two. I'm gonna say two because I think they're tied, but for different reasons. First one, Super Mario Bros. Movie. Reason I say that's the worst or tied for the worst is because I'm a big Nintendo fan, and from everything I've seen, it is so horrible. I had no interest in even watching it.
Right.
So that there's that. I mean, even just the costumes and what they did is just so stupid. And then I'm gonna go out and say Mortal Kombat was really, really bad. And the reason it was bad, and hear me out for a second, for the most part it was okay, but that stupid scene with Scorpion ruined the whole movie. I could not take it seriously after that.
What stupid scene with Scorpion?
So okay, first off, when Scorpion's in the forest and he shoots out his little whatever thing.
Yeah.
The heart, yeah, he shoots it out and he says, "Get over here." It sounds a little lame, but whatever. He does it. But then when he's fighting, who's he fighting? He's fighting Johnny Cage. When he's fighting Johnny Cage, what the heck is up? Get down here, and all the weird stuff that he says just in that voice. It just like it made it really stupid. Like it was just really, I don't know. I didn't like it. So it's the worst. It's the worst.
So I'm going to jump in here and say the only reason you're saying Mortal Kombat's the worst is because you haven't watched Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Watch that and then come back and talk to us.
Okay, so to borrow Michael B., which, by the way, he coined another phrase for our show where we're trademarking this. Restalgia, you saying that Mortal Kombat, sir, that is a very bold statement of you to say that. Remember that? From last week, episode 1, the bold statement. Restalgia, that is a very bold statement for you. Mortal Kombat Annihilation, after the first 10 minutes where they kill Johnny Cage, you're like, what?
Good. It's about damn time. Now, hold on. Wait a second. Do they use the same actors in that movie?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Except for Liu Kang and Katana. They're the only ones who came back.
They're the ones who came back. Okay, so that was another gripe with it. The person who played Raiden was not who I envisioned playing Raiden. This guy was like jokey. He really didn't kind of embody the powerful character that Raiden was. And then on top of that, what they did with Reptile was brutal. I don't know if you guys have that picture. I snapshotted a picture of it and I was like, what is this? Like, what is this CG garbage multicolored chameleon that they're claiming to be Reptile? It was just, I'm not even going to get into it. You guys are wrong.
So,
Mortal Kombat sucked.
Restalgia again, your age is showing. I can't believe that you didn't like Christopher Lambert as Raiden. He's the Highlander man.
Yeah, there can be only one. You know,
that's it.
And it shouldn't have been him.
That was perfect. You can't write that crap, people. You can't write, but sometimes great things just happen. All right, so let's take a look here. Let's show the audience. Now, we heard our opinions. We've seen your guys' opinions in the chat. Let's show you a list of the most critically panned, worst video game film adaptations of all time. Now, here's what's interesting is some of these also made the most money, which is weird. So it goes to show you blockbuster success does not equal greatness. So let's get this list pulled up for you folks here in just one quick second. And boom. Now, this list is like 50 long. We're just going to go through the top 10. So these are the top 10 worst, like critically worst, like it's the worst of all time is what the critics say. Number 10, Resident Evil Afterlife. Number 9, do you guys remember Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li?
Yeah, with Kristen Cruick from Smallville.
Right. Michael Clark Duncan was in here.
That was a weird choice.
Yep. Number 8, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I agree. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I agree. And then number 7, Wing Commander. Wing Commander. What do you guys think of that? Has anyone seen Wing Commander? I mean, this is the one I think it had Freddie Prinze Jr. in it, right?
I have no idea what that movie is.
Never seen it.
All right. Warcraft. What? I hate this website. I like this one.
Just because it was the,
and now I can't go see it now.
Yeah, I was gonna say just because it's the #1 grossing film doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah, true. But I really enjoyed it probably because I liked Warcraft, and I just really liked it. Okay, but not everyone likes the same thing. Let's keep going. Number 5, the Need for Speed movie. Did any of you see this?
No.
No.
Nope. Alone in the Dark. 2005, number 4.
See, this is interesting because I actually didn't know that this movie was made, because I know the Alone in the Dark series, and I don't know. It's kind of cool that they made it. Now that I know it's a really bad one, I'm not going to watch it, but still interesting that that's an adaptation they decided to go with.
Number 3, Assassin's Creed. I think this is, yeah, it could have been number 1 for me as well, because once again, it's another video game movie where they just use the concept of the video game, but nothing really, from the video game, right? And but luckily they did do the, what is it called, the swan dive. Like if you guys have played Assassin's Creed, when you climb to the top of the tower, you do the big swan dive. At least they put that in the movie. If they didn't do that, I think people would have completely rioted. But then again, this movie, use the source material, guys. Come on, Hollywood. But they never do that. They never do that. Looks like a clip from Beverly Hills Cop. What? Philip, I knew that were you. I don't know what that. Sup, you cool cat. Assassin's Creed. Okay, guys, let's keep going. The chat's flying. I'm trying to do 3 things at once. Number 2, Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. Apparently, I got bad taste. Critics hated this movie. And but Restalgia, you like this one though, right? You agreed with me. You like this one?
I haven't seen this one. I haven't seen this one.
Oh, it was Michael B. Michael B. You like this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the actress who plays the princess. I forget her name, but she was also in Clash of the Titans. God, what was her name? Anyway, let's keep going. Number 1, Postal. I don't know what this one is, but apparently this is a video game film.
What game?
Did you guys ever? I don't know. That's weird. Number 1.
Does it say what it is in the verbiage there?
Nope, it does not.
I have no idea.
So that's weird.
Yeah, if I remember, Postal, after the Postman going crazy, news stories broke, they came up with this really in bad taste game called Postal, and I guess that's what it's based on. I don't know.
Yeah. Weird. Okay, guys. So let us know in the chat here, guys, what you think the worst of the worst was. Go ahead and throw it in the chat. It could be anything. I would love to see it, and we'll share it. So if now, I don't think I got to me where I said so in my opinion, Super Mario Brothers, worst one ever made, in my opinion, because Koopa wasn't even, he was a human being, right? They did. Yeah, go ahead.
So can we kind of give Super Mario Brothers a little bit of a pass?
No.
Because you got to think about when it was made and how much it would have cost to actually try to do something more along the lines of what's in the game. Like they would have to go to another world, would have been a ton of CGI. From what I understand, the choices they made weren't the studio execs trying to make this weird post-apocalyptic world. These were all budgetary kind of restrictions that they were working with on the movie.
Mike,
that's the only thing I'll say.
Have you seen a picture of a Goomba? A real one. A real one. Do you know what a Goomba looks like? It is a giant head with feet. Okay?
They went opposite.
Hold on, yeah. So let's start with that. In the movie, do you know what a Goomba is, Mike? It is a giant, enormous human being that's like 15 feet tall with the head the size of a pea.
Yep.
It's literally the exact opposite. It made you can't tell me that is budgetary. That is stupidity. That is brutal.
Here's the other thing, right? Guys, in the modern age we live in, what attracts an audience, right? If you ever watch 80s and 90s films, a lot of them, the ones that people can't watch today, like there's so many great movies that we grew up with that my son won't watch with me because he always says it's slow, it's boring, right? Because nowadays, after the year like 2005, movies are fast paced, right? And the goal of these studios is give the audience what they want as quickly as possible so we don't lose attention. In the connected world we live in today, if we don't see what we want within 5 minutes, boom, we go elsewhere, right? So Super Mario Brothers, they didn't even get into their costumes until an hour and 20 minutes into the movie. An hour and 20 minutes, guys. And a lot of the Batman films where Batman got panned, like they've made a ton of Batman movies. The Batman movies where he wasn't in the costume in the first 5 minutes, people hate those movies, right? Because, it took 45 minutes, like Batman Returns. Oh, he's finally in the goddamn costume, right? So, that's something to keep in mind is when you make these movies, you got to give the audience what they want in the first 20 minutes, or we stop caring. Does that make sense?
The first 10 minutes, man. It's like you need that immediate gratification for at least a minute. Then you can go and do boring stuff for the next 30, but give
Right.
us something to hold on to for the first, in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. So, all right, which leads us into remakes. So, what movies do we think they should remake? Now, we're not talking movies they haven't made yet. What should they do again? I think we would all agree they need to do a hard R-rated Mortal Kombat movie and just give it to us, right? And what else, guys? What else besides a remake of Mortal Kombat? Which I think it might even be in the works, right? I think that might even be in the works. But what else besides that should they remake? And guys, put it in the chat. Remakes. What do you guys think? What would you guys like to see remade? I think they need to do. They are actually going to do Super Mario Brothers, but they're going to do it as an animated film. Nintendo's working on it right now, actually. So, okay, it's going to be animated, kind of like Pikachu and Sonic. It'll probably be like computer animated. That's fine by me, right? I mean, especially if you have to do the whole Mushroom Kingdom stuff. But what else, guys? Go.
So Resident Evil.
I would love to see a Metal Gear
Keep going.
Solid. I know they made one movie. I've never seen it though, but that seems like that's one of the easiest movies to make from a game. Metal Gear, I used to play hours and hours of that game, so I would love to see a really good Metal Gear Solid game made.
Yeah.
Okay.
What were you thinking, Mike?
Resident Evil, except don't make it stupid. There doesn't need to be any kind of special superhuman, I forget what her name is, Mila Jovovich character. Just stick to the basics. It doesn't even have to be Chris and Claire Redfield. Just a cop goes into a mansion, got to solve a bunch of puzzles. There's the zombie sticking out. That's all you have to do. Make a sensible Resident Evil movie with no Mila Jovovich. I'd be happy. You know what? Don't even do that. Just leave her out. Tell her to stay home.
What? Lilo Dallas Multipass? No, we're not getting rid of her. No. Restalgia, what about you? What should they remake?
See, I have trouble with this one. I mean, I haven't seen a ton of these movies, so I'm just kind of going based off of what I have seen. I would say, I think I would like to see like a true rated R Mortal Kombat film. Done properly with gore, without any of this corny nonsense that they have to throw in movies or that they did throw in movies back in the 90s. I think that's kind of what I would personally like to see.
Yep. So
I think
that they and also R? Glenn put it in here.
R-rated.
Oh.
You want to do an X-rated Mortal Kombat film too? That's fine, but that's a different website.
No. I can link you. I've got a couple of
No, please don't.
If you want.
So we have Glenn put in the comment they're remaking Resident Evil. I believe is it Netflix, I think, is maybe doing it, or one of the streaming services. And as long as they just say put him in the mansion, being, that's all they got to do, and like you said, no superhuman characters. Just give us Jill, Chris, just give us those characters in the mansion, handguns and all that kind of stuff. Yes, we're going to do call-ins, Rex, in just 1 second. In fact, let me put it in here. You can go ahead and call in now if you want. Apologize, guys. I'm doing 5 things at once.
And Resident Evil seems like that would be
going to be people
simplest game to do.
That's fine, guys. We
let's do it.
Yeah, guys, we want you to call in. Hell, we can get up to 10 people on the show at once. So we want you to call in. Let us know what you think so far of the show, as well as of these movies and all that kind of stuff. I know Pitbull wanted to call in. Rex, you're always more than welcome to call in.
And keep in mind, if you guys don't want to show yourself on camera, you can just do audio only. That's fine too. So if you just have something to say, like coming in and saying Restalgia's the best, it's totally cool. You guys can just call in, say that, you can leave. No big deal.
Yeah, again, guys, when this show was originally pitched to me, Restalgia said, hey, if you cancel the Loft report, we can make Super Game Room Dudes starring Restalgia. And I was like, okay.
Don't put this all on me, man.
It's all your fault.
And if we can get some votes for me and PDubs being the best Mario and Luigi ever made as well.
Yeah, we did though. We wore Mario and Luigi on one of our wonderful Loft Report podcast episodes.
I called dibs on Princess Peach. That's mine.
Yeah. What does that make you, Michael B?
Toad.
I'm gonna be Bowser.
No,
you're gonna be Bowser. Nice.
Okay, be a Goomba.
All right. But okay, what else should they remake? I think that honestly, I think Assassin's Creed had such a wonderful video game concept that like if they remade it, but did it the right way, but maybe did it like Assassin's Creed Black Flag with the pirate ships and stuff. I mean, think about it. There's an opening there. The Pirates of the Caribbean series is probably officially dead, but there's fans out there who still want to have pirate movies, right? So why not do Assassin's Creed Black Flag, adapt that as a movie, right? I think that would be really cool and stick close to the video game where you have all the real pirates, Blackbeard, like all the pirates you come across during the video game, like have those in the movie as well. I think that would be really cool. Also, if they redid Super Mario Brothers, which they're doing as an animated film, I think that's the right way to go. What else, guys? What else should they remake? And joining us is Rex.
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Hey, Rex, what's going on, man?
All right, I just had to come in for a second here because I wasn't going to call in, but I hate to say it, but I want to go back because I agree with Restalgia on Mortal Kombat, and you know I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, but I had to agree with them that C-list actors, the plot isn't exactly the same as what it should be. The special effects, the stunts, the martial arts, it's pretty poor. I mean, you gotta agree with me. It's not that good.
It was sad. It was disappointing.
Yes. But if you're a Mortal Kombat guy, you're gonna like it. I can at least stomach it. And Annihilation was almost the exact same thing. So that's all I want to say. And I also want to say one other thing. Not a remake, but why couldn't they do a Killer Instinct movie? Because they could have some great special effects, great characters. You could get a nice Orchid character in there. You could get, the wolf character. You can get the skeleton. You could do something crazy with that whole game, and that would be a good movie, like a Bloodsport type of concept. So, all right, I'm out of here, guys. I gotta go.
See you later, buddy.
Thanks for letting me call in. See ya.
Of course, Rex. See you later, brother.
Yep.
So yeah, I think we lost Carl. Carl was on his cell phone at a dinner party, and and I asked him. I said, "Do you have your charger?" And he said, "No, I don't, but I have 67% battery. I'll be fine." Maybe
he's
he's
using a Google Pixel though. So
yep. Hey, joining us is Sheldon Sims, and if you're familiar with the At Games Facebook communities, Sheldon is a very active member in those communities, and we all love and respect Sheldon. How you doing, Sheldon? Good to see you.
Great. How you doing, PDubs?
I'm doing well, doing well. So what do you got for us about the video game nonsense that we've talked about so far before we get into the
got
final
this
topic?
Giant echo.
You got an echo. You're not echoing on our end.
It just ended, but
there you go. You're good.
Great.
Sounds good on our end.
Yeah, it sounds good now.
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Huge delay because I'm in a hotel on their Wi-Fi. But no, I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed all those movies. A bunch of them I haven't played, or a bunch of the games I haven't played, and a bunch of the movies I haven't watched. But I did love Mortal Kombat.
Okay, so
probably because of the soundtrack, it was ripe.
Okay.
Soundtrack was okay. Everything else wasn't, but that's okay.
Mortal Kombat.
But yeah, I enjoyed the Prince of Persia movies. I enjoyed Assassin's Creed. Probably because I haven't played the game all the way through. There's been so many of them.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Michael B. the big weenie. What?
But Tomb Raider. I actually loved Tomb Raider.
Which one?
Because it was full of so much action. So.
Laura, the Angelina Jolie version or the current, the newer version?
The Angelina Jolie one, because I have not watched the current one.
Yeah, I think if you watch that one, you might change your mind just a little bit. The newer one is really good. Is really good. But hey, man,
I'm getting a really big delay and echo again. But
yeah, it's that hotel Wi-Fi, Sheldon. It's that hotel Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'll have to go.
But yeah, we appreciate. Yeah, we appreciate you calling in, bud.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, anytime, man.
It is. Yeah. Well, we'll be moving up here in a few weeks, and hopefully we'll have decent internet.
There you go.
Well, definitely call us back then, brother. Appreciate it so much. You okay? All right. Everyone say bye to Sheldon because he can't hear us. Sheldon! We'll see you later, brother. All right. His internet's messed up. So sorry about the delay there, guys. Okay. So we're waiting on Carl. Maybe Carl will get his cell phone charged, and hopefully he'll call us back. If not, let's go ahead and oh, wait a minute. We got another guy. Is it Glenn Baisley? What's up, Glenn?
Oh. Don't mind the bomb that went off in the background. I'm actually cleaning stuff up right now. So
That's what everyone says when their house is a mess. They're like, "Yeah, sorry, I didn't have a chance to clean." When really they mean I have no intention on picking up this crap, is what they're saying. I'm just teasing you, Glenn. I'm just teasing you.
that's okay.
So
No, I do filmmaking stuff, so it's actually stuff left over for production that I have not had a chance to clean anything up. So literally, that's my project for tomorrow.
Yep.
But I've taken the time out to join you guys.
yeah, we appreciate that, Glenn. We appreciate it. We're going to be jumping over to the final topic, and this one is really special. And it's the one that I'm most excited about talking about is what video games should be made into a movie. Video games or franchises that haven't been made yet. I think we're going to get a lot of great responses from the crowd as well as the panel here. I actually have 3 that I definitely want to talk about. But before we dive into that, Glenn, what do you think about best, worst, and what should be remade?
Well, I think the best to date has been the recent Tomb Raider. I think it's probably been the closest, at least to the latest versions of Tomb Raider. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. In my opinion, one of the worst ones is House of the Dead. And I was actually telling you earlier a bit of a funny story. Is I used to do a lot of professional movie reviews and be on PR circuits and things like that. And so the movie got released. I want to say it was in 2003 was the original, and House of the Dead 2 came out in 2005. So I panned, along with a lot of other, it was critically panned, Ubol's House of the Dead, because it has nothing to do with the movie, especially the first one. The second one, it has the late Sid Haig playing Professor Curian, but even then has really nothing to do with the games. And so I ripped it apart for Fangoria magazine, and I ended up getting private messages sent to me by the director, who just started screaming at me over the fact that I had tore the movie apart.
Oh, wow.
My response was, it's like, well, if you don't like the criticism, make a better movie.
Yeah.
It was garbage,
Yeah.
But I think he may have even done Postal when you guys mentioned that. I want to say it might have been Ubol. I have to go back and look, but I think he was the one that did Postal as well. He did a series of really bad video game movies, one worse than the last. As far as games that are, that haven't been done, I don't know how you'd make it, but I'm kind of I would love to see, and actually talk to the behavior about it, because I pitched a script. I would absolutely love to see a Dead by Daylight movie based off the PC game, now based off of, that's off the console, but I would love to see a Dead by Daylight one. I actually had a really good treatment that they had talked to me about. So if you're hearing this behavior, let's revisit it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good choice. I didn't even think of that one. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Awesome, Glenn.
Yeah.
Well, I think we lost Carl. I think.
Well, good talking to you guys. Awesome show.
Oh, thanks so much.
I didn't know you wrote for Fangoria. That is amazing. I don't know if you can see in the background, I'm very fond of the horror movies, so that is really friggin' cool.
Yeah. Actually, complete shameless plug that the former editor-in-chief, Michael Gingold, is a good friend of mine. We partner up and we do tons of DVD extras. So, in fact, Friday the 13th box set comes out October 13th. Yeah. I have a locations featurette about part 1 and 2. So, good stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Glenn has got some amazing stories to share with all of us. He's got a wonderful tale to tell. So we're going to have Glenn on again in an upcoming episode. And Glenn, get ready, man, because it's going to go off the charts when you hear the stories Glenn has to share. So yeah, thanks so much for hopping on. Thanks so much for hopping on. And I hope
it'll be clean by the time I'm on next time.
I don't believe you, but we'll see.
My wife doesn't believe me either, but I'm like, look, I have to. It's like I can't move in here after I just did this last production. It's like everything, and we had a family barbecue recently, so I'm just like, I can't. Everything got moved into this room. It became the dumping ground. So, anyway, have a good night, guys. Good show.
You too. You too. Thanks so much for calling in real quick, Glenn.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. All right, guys. So we have, let's see what else we got going on here. Okay, so we got, oh, Sheldon. Hey, you're back. What's going on, Sheldon?
Hey.
Did you fix your internet?
Yeah, I still had the other video going on in the background.
Oh, that's your problem.
Yeah.
All right.
Technical difficulties. I'm no good at this.
All right. Now, Sheldon, you know I adore you to death, but the audience is waiting. They want us to get to the final topic. So real quick, so now that we actually have a good connection with you, what is your best? What is your worst? And which video game movie should be remade that's already been done before?
Man, I guess Super Mario Brothers needs to be remade because it was so bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I enjoyed Mortal Kombat. I don't know if it needs to be remade with more gore, but
it does. We need
anyway. It does. Yeah. Fatality. Yeah,
we need
the true
we need to see
blood and guts coming out.
Yeah, we need it. We need it. They got to do it justice.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks so much for calling in, Sheldon. We greatly appreciate it.
No, you're welcome.
No problem.
Thank
brother.
you.
We'll talk to you soon. All right, guys. The audience has waited long enough. Now let's talk about what video games, whether it's a solo game or a franchise, needs to be made into a movie. I'm going to go last because I have three, and I have three specific ways I think they should be done. So, Michael B., it's on you.
Metroid.
Why?
And
why? And how should they make it? Animated, 3D, how should they make it? Go.
Oh no, it's got to be live action, and
Live
they
action.
need to stick as close as humanly possible to the storyline, the idea of. I think it'd be fascinating to see that whole Metroidvania style done into a movie. So you land on the planet, and I don't want to say that it's done in of course not first person, because there's a cool story to be told. Not like what was that stupid movie they made where everything was like in the first person perspective there a couple of years ago? Definitely not like that. But
Hardcore Henry or Harry or whatever.
Yeah. Not like that. But I love the idea of kind of like the Alien franchise. Try to make it kind of like the first Alien movie, except it's all about Samus on. I can't remember the name of the first planet because I keep going back to Super Metroid, but watching her go through, I don't know if she needs to go so much into the Chozo history, all that stuff, but basically go around, hunt down the Metroids, and then escape from the planet with the big explosion at the end. Very simple. Stick to the concept that's already there, live action, and make it look great. Metroid would be a huge winner.
What I like about Metroid is is one of the most popular video games ever made, starring a female heroine or female character, right? And I think with Hollywood, with the whole empowerment movements and stuff like that, I think Hollywood would love to make a movie starring a tough female, a strong female for other women and little girls to look up to. I think that's got money all over it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I was just thinking this as you were saying that then, because a big thing about it, I know you're talking about there's a big thing about a woman character, but I was also thinking it's got to be like Dread, that movie Dread that came out, the more recent one, because Samus doesn't really take off the costume right to the very end. So you've got to get an actress that's willing to wear that costume the whole time. Like, sure, there can be some lead into it and stuff like that, but you got to be in costume the whole time. That's my opinion. And I also like the idea of Dread, how they were stuck in that one building and basically they had to go through the building, because that's kind of what the planet would be like. So very similar to, I think it was 2015 Dread. That would be a good research project for anybody looking to make a Metroid movie, in my opinion.
Okay. Digging it. Any others or just Metroid?
Oh, I could go on all day.
Well,
Legend of Zelda.
I have 3, so yeah, just go ahead and throw a couple more out there.
I'd love to see Legend of Zelda done in a whole Lord of the Rings type feature. I mean, like you could even do 3 movies where each one is getting each piece of the Triforce, if you want to go with that mythology, or it all leads up to getting the Master Sword and killing Ganon. But like, it's got to be this epic, long movie. The only thing I'd be concerned about is there'd be a bunch of other actors thrown in and a party that would just not fit. It's got to be that story of the one child going through all these dungeons and all these different challenges in order to rescue the princess and get the Triforce back. That'd be amazing. Maybe it'd be better as like a long form show, but 3 large movies might do it as well.
Yeah,
I'll stop there because I can just keep going.
it's okay.
Hey, we got Carl
Yeah,
back.
there he is.
Carl, what's up? Glad you brought your mask for social distancing.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay,
I can
cool.
hear you.
Carl's at a party but doesn't want to stop podcasting. You gotta love Carl. All right, so Restalgia, what video game, movie, or franchise should they be making?
So I've actually got a few. Now, I would imagine that a lot of people are familiar with Telltales, right? The Telltales company that went bankrupt recently.
Yeah, the
Okay.
point and click adventure games.
Yeah, so they had a couple in there that were really good. One of them was called The Walking Dead. I don't know if you guys have heard of that series before. They should turn that into a TV show. That would be unreal. So awesome. Also, there's another one they did. It's called Game of Thrones or something. They made that into a TV show. Mind blown. Like that would be awesome.
I'm gonna give you. I heard that Walking Dead wouldn't do much good after about season 7, season 8. It started to get really uninteresting there around that point.
Not
And
true.
also, no one will be happy with the ending to Game of Thrones if they made that a show. Nobody.
Well, I'm
All
gonna
right, guys, I gotta go. I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
Carl.
Okay.
Thanks so much. All right, so yeah,
So
Carl's living it up.
I will say I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. So you're absolutely right. I would say season 7 was kind of like meh. But when we start getting into season 8, season 9, season like to where we are now, it's actually it's picked back up. I like it quite a bit. I'm obviously joking about that, but I do have a few games in mind. So one of them is actually a Telltale game, and there was a game called The Wolf Among Us. And I don't know if you guys have played that game, but it is like a really, really awesome storyline. And I think it would do quite well if it were kind of translated and adapted into film. I can't say too much because even saying a little bit is like heavily into spoilers, so I'm not going to.
Yeah.
If you haven't played it, you got to play that game. The next game that I would think of is there's a game for PlayStation, and it was actually released for a few different consoles, and it's had some re-releases, but Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. That game was really good and had a fantastic storyline, so I think that actually might translate well in modern time, maybe not in the 90s with the CG and the special effects they had, but I think they could definitely pull it off now. And then the last one, which is one that I think a lot of people would love to see. Now, this is a lot more, I don't want to say it's more modern, but it's more of a recent game, Last of Us. That I think would do really, really well. Actually, there's one more I'm going to mention, Red Dead Redemption. I think that would also do really well on the big screen too. But Last of Us is like, I would love to see some sort of live action Last of Us film.
People have been putting a lot of
God of War. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, God of War would be cool as well.
That would be dope. They have to do that right, though. They can't mess around with that.
So I absolutely agree. Let's get to me. So I'm so excited. It's my favorite part of the entire show. I've been wanting to talk about this all week. So I absolutely agree with Michael B. Legend of Zelda should be made Lord of the Rings style. I'm talking epic fantasy. That was on my list. And like, for instance, Amazon Prime is working on the Lord of the Rings TV series. And not only was it delayed due to COVID, but they are spending quality time on it. I'm so psyched when that finally releases, right? But whether it's Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, or even if just a big studio does it, a Legend of Zelda live action, it's got to be live action, a fantasy epic. I think that would just be amazing. Also, when it comes to live action movies, I would love for them to make a Metal Gear Solid movie. I just think that has dollar signs and action and excitement and written all over it.
Has to be Solid Snake, though.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna come out of left field with one. I don't know if you guys remember this game or not. It came out on the Xbox 360 a long time ago. Dante's Inferno.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I think Dante's Inferno, that game had such an amazing storyline attached to it with his journey through the 9 circles of hell, that would be such an amazing film. Like, I played that game, I beat that game, I replayed it, I beat it again. I love that game. It's probably one of my favorite Xbox 360 games, Dante's Inferno. I think that would make a killer movie. Go ahead, Michael B.
So I think that they should wait and make a Dante's Inferno movie after they've made 2 God of War movies, because then everybody could say Dante's Inferno movie is a ripoff of the God of War movies.
Oh, come on.
Now that's actually fair. And you mentioned this game earlier, and I put some thought into it. I think they need to make a Bubble Bobble movie.
Oh, no, they don't. No, they don't.
Listen, there's so many things they could do with that. They could go red with it. They could go green with it. If they wanted to go yellow, they could do that. They could go purple.
Right.
So many possibilities. It'd be in a post-apocalyptic world, and there'd be people throwing garbage into their car instead of gasoline. Like, it's great.
Yeah. You just literally couldn't go wrong there.
Now, those were the ones that I think should be live action. When it comes to animated, I think they should do Mega Man, and I think it would do really well. I think it would be better to make that as an animated movie or a CGI movie. I just don't see it like on the big screen, like with real people, a cannon arm and stuff. It might be a little too hokey, but I think Mega Man should be made into an animated film. And then here's the other one, and this one would involve Disney, right? Would be if Disney did Kingdom Hearts, if they did a Kingdom Hearts movie.
Kingdom Hearts, The Spirits Within?
Yeah. So
where it's about a researcher dealing with like a dying planet and ghosts.
Yeah. Well, when I think about it, like Disney, you're combining all your like majority of your franchises into this epic collaboration film. I'm surprised Disney hasn't done it already, considering how many units of those games have shipped.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I think from a cash grab point of view, I'm surprised it hasn't been done already. But yeah, there was a Dante's Inferno cartoon, 10-Pin Alley, and Kirby keeps saying Castlevania over and over in the chat. We agree with you. Yes, there should be, but isn't there a Castlevania on Netflix? Oh wait, no, it's an animated series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very good except for season 3.
It's very good. Okay, I never watched it, so I don't know if it's any good or not.
Season 1 was pretty good. Season 2 was incredible. Season 3 was just filler. Like, you're just watching it, and then nothing happens, and then it's over, and you're like, okay, now I'll wait a year.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So, guys, those are our picks for the best, the worst, what needs to be remade, and what they should do that hasn't been done yet. And appreciate everyone's comments in the chat. Now, real quick, guys, next week, we're going to have a big episode next Saturday. You guys don't want to miss it. We're going to have Jong from II Arcade. He's going to come on Super Game Room, dudes. Jong has been dropping announcement after announcement after announcement lately for his II Arcade brand. You don't want to miss next week's episode. Jong's going to be here. And PDubs, there might be something special. I don't know. There might be something special. I always got stuff up my Restalgia sweatshirt sleeves. So you guys don't want to miss his live streams this week, as well as tune in Saturday for Restalgia. And yes, I will try my best not to make him cry like I did on the Loft report, but it is what it is. So yes, guys, Jong will be here next week. It'll be an II Arcade themed episode. And then, of course, we got big stuff happening after that. Michael B., where can people find you, and what do you got coming up this week on your channel as well?
Well, you can find me as always on YouTube, Michael B. the Game Genie, Instagram, Michael B. 1980, Twitter at Mike B. Game Genie, and on my Facebook fan page, Michael B. the Game Genie. So in the next little while, hopefully this week, my wife was in hospital, so I've kind of shut down all my video production for the last little while. But I'm still working on NES, Really Bad NES Games Part 2. That's my next video coming out. And then I'm going to review my Burger Time cabinet because PDubs said some pretty controversial things, and I got to dispute them in my review.
I did not. I gave it a 7 out of 10. That's a good
controversial.
score.
Controversial.
It wasn't controversial at all.
He covered up the real news. This is going to be a real Geraldo Rivera type review,
Oh,
exposing PDubs here.
It was a very fair professional review. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So Restalgia, where can folks find you? And what do you got coming up on your channel this week?
Well, I'm really mostly active on YouTube. So just go to YouTube and search Restalgia if you haven't already. Or go to Google, just search Restalgia. There's not many search populations that are going to come up that aren't related to me. So that's the easiest way to find me. In terms of stuff coming up, I have wrapped up an NBA Jam Arcade 1-Up review. I was finished it yesterday, but I was like, I don't want to post it if I'm posting other videos. So it's going to come out on Monday. You guys will have to wait for that one. And I've got a ton of other stuff. I've got some console mods and a whole bunch of other stuff on the books. Hopefully I can push those guys out for the next few weeks that are coming up.
Yep. And guys, you can find me everywhere, PDubs. Just search PDubs Arcade Loft, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, you name it, you'll find me there. I'm not on Tinder. I'm sorry, I'm not on Tinder though, or Grindr. That's where you'll find Restalgia. But also, guys, videos upcoming on my channel. What do I got? I got them written on the backboard here. Hold on. I got to do a review of the Evercade, my NBA Jam Arcade 1-Up review, and what else do I got? And then a couple of things for At Games. We have Legends Center coming up as well. So lots of stuff coming on my channel as well. We'll have Jong from iArcade here next week, which I'm pretty excited about. So thanks so much, guys, for hanging out with us. And any final farewells?
From us? No, yeah, no. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm looking forward to next week too. Yeah. What about you, Mike? I'm sure you've got something to say.
Yeah, I got something to say.
It's going to be an experience.
It's going to, yes, next
That's
week.
how you end it, yeah. There you go.
What a great way to end the broadcast. Next week, Jong is going to be here, and guys, it's going to be an experience.